Welcome to Scary Savannah and Beyond. I'm Brett.
And I'm Crystal. And today we're going back in time to one of the most devastating and eeriest railroad tragedies in Southern history. One that involved a full traveling circus, bright lights, exotic animals, illusionists, a world of wagons, tents, and calliope music.
All ending in a fire so intense that witnesses said it looked like the gates of hell opened on the tracks.
We're talking about the Con T. Kennedy Circus Train Wreck of November 22nd, 1915.
A wreck that survivors swore left more behind than charred rails and scorched earth.
Yep. Ghost stories, phantom train whistles, wandering circus spirits. Savannah might be the most haunted city in the South, but Columbus, Georgia, has this one locked down. Before the fire, before the wreck, before the screams, let's talk about who was on that train. The Con T. Kennedy shows were one of the largest, cleanest, and most beloved traveling carnivals in the United States. Think of it as Broadway, Disney World, and Ripley's Believe It or Not, traveling on train wheels.
They started in Kansas City, run by Con, short for Cornelius.
That's a great name.
It is.
Why didn't they call him Corn?
Corny. It's old Corny. T. Kennedy, a showman with charisma, swagger, and the ability to convince small-town America that his carnival was pure family entertainment.
Which, to be fair, was true most of the time. This wasn't a sketchy back-alley tent show with one guy juggling flaming whiskey bottles next to a booth selling bootleg cologne.
Or one of those sad carnivals where the only attraction is a sunburned clown, 2 broken light bulbs, and a goat tied to a folding chair.
You'd stop to see that goat.
I would absolutely stop to see the sad goat. As a matter of fact, I'd pay extra if it was wearing a little chapeau.
Don't act like you wouldn't try to take that goat home.
I would name the goat. Obviously,
what would you
I'm
name
going to
him?
take it home. I would name him Franklin the Tethered Goat.
Franklin.
Franklin
Okay.
the Tethered Goat.
Anyway, this was not that kind of show. The Con T. Kennedy shows rolled in with polished acts, beautiful wagons, powerful lighting, exotic animals, and their own live band. They were a traveling city of color and spectacle.
Sword swallowers, acrobats, dancers, illusionists, and that famous Model City sideshow with Fred and Blanche Kempf.
Oh yes, that was a real marvel. They built a fully detailed miniature town inside a circus wagon. Tiny buildings, streets, little townspeople, even a working model train. It was like peeking into a perfect little world. Adults and children would watch for hours. This is before they had TikTok, I guess.
The TikTok.
Yeah, the TikTok.
As the youth of America
Yeah, I
might
can't
call it.
imagine it would be as interesting today, but it sounds pretty cool. Plus, they also had steam-powered rides, the early Ferris wheel, shooting galleries, the Dixie Flyer swing ride, and a midway so bright at night it looked like a lighthouse landed in town.
And let's not forget the roustabouts, because everyone always forgets the
I
roustabouts.
put this in because I wanted to say the word roustabout.
Roustabouts. The real backbone of the show, as a matter of fact. These guys worked day and night, setting up tents, unloading wagons, feeding animals, and keeping everything running smoothly. Without them, the circus would have fallen apart before it even reached the first town. They traveled with 28 train cars, flat cars for wagons, sleeper cars for performers, cookhouse cars, costume cars, and animal cars filled with a menagerie of animals, parrots, monkeys, horses, and the occasional moody lion.
I also like the word menagerie, which is why I put that in there.
It is a great word.
It's
It's
a
one of the
great
top
word.
3 words of this episode.
I really like that word.
Oh, yeah.
Circus people were family. They lived inches apart. They worked as one, and they put everything they owned, props, animals, costumes, and their lives on those rails.
And all of that world rolled into Georgia in November of 1915.
The Kennedy Circus had just finished a massive engagement at the Atlanta Harvest Festival, performing for thousands. Their band played parades. Their acrobats dazzled crowds. Atlanta loved them.
On November 22nd, 1915, the troupe left Atlanta and moved toward Phoenix City, Alabama, stopping in Columbus, Georgia to restage and take on water. Their special train was supposed to continue southeast along tracks shared with the Central of Georgia Railroad. The plan was simple, as it always is.
Yeah.
The passenger train would wait at Muskogee Junction. The Circus Special, running only a few minutes behind another freight train, would pass safely.
How could this go wrong?
I don't see any way this could go wrong.
None of that
except for the
happened.
fact that we're here doing an episode about it.
None of that happened.
The passenger train crew didn't wait. They pulled onto the main line anyway.
At 1:26 p.m., just past a bend near Bull Creek, the two trains saw each other.
But it was too late. Way too late.
The circus train was mostly wooden cars, cheap, light, and extremely flammable. The passenger train was made of heavier steel. When they collided, the passenger engine plowed right through the first circus car.
Witnesses said the two locomotives reared up like fighting beasts, then slammed together, telescoping the circus cars.
Oil lanterns shattered. Stoves in the cookhouse car overturned. Canvas bedding, costumes, everything caught fire instantly.
The flames were so hot that rescuers said it was like opening a furnace. 9 cars burned completely.
Performers sleeping in their bunks never even made it to the aisle. The Kemp family, the couple who ran the model city, were trapped. Their young daughter Hazel was thrown from a burning car by her mother and survived. Unfortunately, her parents did not.
Animals panicked. Parrots exploded out of their cages, flying flaming into the pines. Monkeys escaped and clung to trees, shrieking. Rescuers said the sound was otherworldly.
One eyewitness recalled, "I saw those poor fellows pinned in their sleeping wagons and they could not get out. It was a true nightmare."
According to newspapers quoting Con T. Kennedy himself, a certainty that at least 12 persons were killed. How many more we shall never be able to state positively, as there were a number of persons on board, traveling with concessioners of whom the management had no record.
It's sad. He personally tried to rescue anyone he could. One reporter remembered, Kennedy personally directed the work of rescue, had the teamsters hitch their horses to the rear coaches, pulling them out of the fire zone. This minimized the possible loss. There's a picture.
Columbus citizens rushed to the scene. Doctors, nurses, railroad crews, farmers, anyone who could help. More than 40 injured were carried into town. Some with burns so severe, hospital staff said they couldn't tell their ages.
Bodies were laid out beside the tracks and covered with sheets. Some couldn't even be identified. A mass funeral was held at First Baptist Church of Columbus. Their surviving circus musicians, who had lost all their instruments, borrowed horns from the local brass band to play Rock of Ages.
The dead were buried in Riverdale Cemetery, where the Kennedy troupe later erected a monument shaped like a circus tent with the inscription reading, "Erected by the Con T. Kennedy shows in memory of their comrades who lost their lives in a railroad wreck near Columbus, Georgia, on November 22nd, 1915, along with this poem. We'll not forget thee, we who stay, to work a little longer here. Thy name, thy faith, thy love shall be on memory's tablet, bright and clear. And when o'er-wearied by the toil of life, our heavy limbs shall be, we'll come and one by one lie down upon dear Mother Earth with thee."
That's very pretty.
It's a pretty, I don't really get poetry, but I mean, that one definitely, of all the ones I don't get, I kind of get that one.
Yeah, that's nice. And the monument itself is really pretty.
Yeah, so we should have a picture of it
There's
here
a picture.
now. And here's where things take that trademark patented Scary Savannah turn.
Locals say the accident left more than physical scars.
For decades, people reported phantom train whistles near Bull Creek at exactly 1:26 p.m. As you know, the time of the crash.
Hikers have heard faint circus music in the distance, even though there's no carnival, no speakers, and no houses anywhere nearby.
Rail workers in the 1940s swore they saw a woman in old-fashioned carnival attire standing near the bend, crying, then disappearing into the pines.
Drivers on the nearby road claim to see flashes of bright color like circus banners flickering through the trees.
Some say the sound of monkeys chattering or parrots shrieking echoes through the forest on quiet days.
I wonder if any of those wild animals escaped and then are still out there, like they're
so like this long, it'd be like that. I mean, like the lion would be 175 years old.
Like if there was
and he's
a
still
pair
running
of
a
them.
gang, and
if there's a pair of them.
well, I mean, those Galapagos tortoises live to
Yeah,
be
they
like
do.
5,000 years old. So
Yeah. The creepiest story comes from a local man who, in the 1970s, said he saw a little girl in a soot-covered circus dress wandering along the tracks, whispering, "Mama." Then she vanished into thin air. I assume there were other children other than Hazel.
Yeah, I would assume so, but that's sad and creepy.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be very creepy to be wandering around and hear circus music just out of nowhere. That would freak me out.
what if we were like at one of our favorite locations on the island and they just started playing circus music? Would you be freaked out?
Yes.
What about if a clown showed up?
Oh, definitely if the clown showed up.
Despite the devastation, the Conti Kennedy shows rebuilt. Circus people always do. They repaired cars, bought new wagons, and replaced burned costumes.
But those who survived said the spirit of the train changed. The laughter was quieter. The music was duller. Some performers swore the wreck followed them, lights flickering, footsteps in empty cars, strange shadows on the tents. It probably was like PTSD for the people that survived.
I would imagine that's a pretty good diagnosis because it certainly was an extremely traumatic event. The show continued touring for decades, but 1915 was the moment the magic cracked. And some said the ghosts of the lost performers traveled with them until the show finally folded long after Con Kennedy himself had died.
Maybe the circus never really left those tracks. Maybe it's still replaying its final performance on loop.
So that's the story of the Conti Kennedy Circus Train Wreck, one of the deadliest and most haunted train disasters in Southern history.
A reminder that behind every bright carnival light, there's a shadow, and sometimes that shadow lingers a long, long time.
If you ever find yourself near Bull Creek, listen closely. You might hear the whistle,
Or the crackle of burning wood, or carnival music.
or a small whisper asking for her mama.
I don't think I want to hear any of those things.
No, that's kind of scary. I don't believe I would be down with that myself.
Train wrecks are like we just saw the plane crash recently.
Yeah,
Like
it's
just-
happening all the time now.
Yeah,
It's like
so-
another one happened the other day in Turkey, I think.
Yeah,
So,
and then they had a small plane crash land here. I don't know whatever happened with that.
In Savannah.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone was hurt. Did you read the article?
I did not read the article yet, but I guess we should probably follow up and find out.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring us to the end of this particular episode and the part where Crystal will say 15 randomly placed words that may form a sentence.
Join us next time in Savannah, where the ghosts and the good times live on.
But do you know who don't?
Probably that sad little goat with the little chapeau.
See, look, you done took the words right out
Is
my
that what you were
mouth.
gonna
It was
say?
going to be the goat with the chapeau because there's no way he's still alive since 1915.
Yeah.
Now, the line might be based off of what you established earlier in the story, but, you know,
I wonder if they had
I'll go.
any of those tortoises. They could have survived.
they could still be running the circus game.
They could be.
Well, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.